Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to video 0 of my JavaScript series. In this series of videos, I'm going to explain basic JavaScript and complete some of the algorithm challenges at freecodecamp.com. I think the videos are going to be a lot better than following along with me in my presentations at the meetups on Sundays. The advantage of video is you can pause it, you can rewind and rewatch certain sections, and there's also going to be a GitHub repository, so you can just watch the video, first to get familiar with the concepts, and then you can copy and paste my code or write it out for yourself. Anyway, there's just so many advantages, and I hope you liked it. So in this very first video, this is super basic and beginner. That's why I'm calling it video number 0. I'm going to explain what functions are and just the basic syntax. So what I have open right now, I've got my Google Chrome browser, and I'm going to write everything in the Atom editor. I'm going to have 2 files. I have my JavaScript file, which is where we'll be doing all of the programming today, and I've got a simple HTML file. It's really basic. It has a couple of headers. And on line 11, this is where I embed my JavaScript files. And I'm just going to use the same HTML file for all of the lessons, and I'll just change the file name right here for each lesson, and you can do that too. So if you open this example.html file in your browser, you're going to see this. Nothing to see here. Open your console in the Dev Tools. So to open that, you go up here, okay, to View. You'll choose Developer and open the JavaScript console. All right, and everything that we work with, we're gonna work with it right here in the JavaScript console. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. A function is written starting with the function keyword, and then we're going to give it a name. So I'm going to call it say greeting. That's the name of our function. I'm going to give it a pair of parentheses, and then I'm going to show it some curly braces. And right here is where we write the code. By the way, these 2 slashes, this signifies a comment, and the JavaScript interpreter will not read this. It's just going to skip over it. It's only for humans to read and not for the computer. So we start our function with this code, and it's not going to do anything until we tell it to turn on, and we call that invoking the function or calling the function. And basically, we just write the name of the function with parentheses, and then end it with a semicolon. If we save that and go to our web page, all right, we refresh the page and nothing's happening because our function isn't doing anything. All right, but let's make it do something now. Right. I'm going to write a message to the console. Okay, and if you remember, the console is just this window right here, and it's not actually going to appear on the web page. So let's write something to the console. We write console.log, and then I'm going to pass in a string, hello, FreeCodeCamp, and I'm going to end that line with a semicolon. Now I'll save the file, I'll go back to my browser and refresh. And there we go. We've just written our first function. So just to recap, we've written the function, and it only does one thing. It logs out this string, this message to the console. And it's not going to do anything. Okay, if I comment that out, it's not going to do anything until I call it. So I've commented that out, but here I'm calling it. And if I refresh, okay, now we get it. So that is basically what a function does. And I can also pass it a number of different arguments. So let's give it an argument. Let's call, let's say, hello. Okay. And now instead of writing a string, I'm just going to write in this placeholder. So I'm calling the sayGreeting function, and I'm passing in an argument. This argument is called greeting. When I call the function here on line 5, the string gets passed to this greeting placeholder, and now we're logging out a greeting. So if I save, go back and refresh, okay, I see that now. And I can actually do something like this. I can use addition with strings to join several strings together. If I save that, if I go back, refresh, oh, there we go. That's pretty cool. And I can call this function many different times. So sayGreeting, let's use Spanish, hola. And let's call it one more time. Let's use the German, hallo. All right, let's call it one more time, and we'll make it say Korean. So an yang. All right, I'm gonna save it and go back to my browser, refresh. Well, that's pretty cool. So we have hello free code camp, hola free code camp, hello free code camp, annyeong free code camp. All right. So our function is pretty basic. It's only doing one thing. It's logging out a simple message to the console, and that's it. It's not returning any values. And when you normally write functions, they normally return a value. When you do the algorithm challenges at Free Code Camp, they have to return values or they won't work. So let's do a completely different function. Let's call it function add two numbers. All right, I'm going to give it two arguments, a comma b. So if we have multiple arguments for a function, we just separate it with a comma. Very simple. We need the curly braces. All right, and I'm going to say a plus b, comma, add two numbers. All right, let's add 5 and 3. Yeah. Let's save this. Okay, and we get nothing. All right. Well, let's save this in a variable or sum. So now we've got the variable. It's equal to the value of this function, and let's log out the variable, console.log sum. I'm going to save that, refresh it. Wait a second, undefined? Ah, we have an error. Okay, the reason why we're getting undefined is because we did not include a return statement in our code. Okay, so all we have to do is use the return keyword, and now our code should work. Oops. Let's try this again. Okay, now we get the number 8. 5 plus 3 equals 8, so our function is working just okay. All right. So the reason why I got an undefined, okay, undefined is when variables have no value. So I got undefined because I declared a variable, sum, and I logged the value of the variable sum right here. But because my function didn't have a return statement, my variable didn't have any value, and so the console showed undefined. Oops. Get out of that stuff right here. Okay, so if I go back to my editor and save that, do it again, All right, I'm going to get undefined. And most good editors, Adam, it does it. It's going to give you an error. It's going to say something like this. All right, we just need a return statement. Okay, so the return statement, it gives a value right here. And this is a variable assignment. So now sum is equal to a plus b, or 5 plus 3 in this case. All right, so if we save that, go back to the browser, now it works. One more important thing to note, everything after a return statement will not execute. So if I write a console.log, okay, this will run. I'm going to do another one after the return statement. This will not run. Okay, so what do you think will happen when we save this and refresh the browser? What do you think you will see? How many lines will be in our console? Well, let's take a look. So I saved the file. I'm going to go back to the browser. Okay, I only got 2 lines. I got this will run and the number 8. But wait a second. Why didn't this get printed? Well, remember what I said just a moment ago? Everything after a return statement will not get run. The function immediately stops and it returns a plus b here, and it gets assigned to sum. So when the JavaScript interpreter runs this code, it says, okay, function, function, function. All right, here's a variable. Let's make the variable, let's assign it a value. The value will be the function with these arguments. So we call the function, we pass in 5 for A and 3 for B. We're going to print this to the console, and we're going to return these values. Return A plus 3, A plus B, or 5 plus 3, and that's 8. So sum is now equal to 8, and we print the value of this variable right here. So that's why in our console over here, we get this will run and the number 8. Okay, so that's all that I want to show you for this video. It's very basic, and all of your JavaScript functions and algorithms in Free Code Camp are going to use a return statement. Okay? There's going to be a GitHub repository. I'll put the link in the comments for this video. So go ahead, you can fork that and then clone it to your local machine. And that's it for the first video. For the next video, in video 1, I'm going to teach you how to reverse a string using JavaScript. And that is actually the very first algorithm challenge at Free Code Camp. I want you to try it on your own first before looking at my solution. Only after you've tried and you've gotten stuck so many times, or only after you've successfully completed the challenge yourself, should you watch my video. But if you're stuck, or if you've already completed it and you want to see the way I've written it, then by all means, please watch the next video. Okay, hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye! Ooh, I gotta stop it. Gotta stop it. There we go.